Hello, dear English learners. Welcome back to English in Fluency. I'm Alex, your host, and I am so excited to have you here today. We are about to dive deep into a topic that can absolutely transform your entire English learning journey: how to become fluent in English. I know for many of you, learning English isn't just a casual hobby. It's a stepping stone to bigger dreams. Perhaps you envision traveling the world with newfound confidence, studying at an international university, securing a better job in a global company, or simply connecting with people from all corners of the globe. However, a common and significant hurdle that learners often face is achieving fluency. This means that effortless ability to speak naturally, to express yourself confidently, and to communicate without constantly stopping to think about every single word. And that, my friends, is precisely what we are going to master together today. So, if you've ever felt that familiar flutter of nervousness in your stomach when it's your turn to speak English, if you've ever struggled desperately to find the right words in a conversation, or if you've ever simply yearned to express yourself smoothly and freely, then this episode is crafted specifically for you. Please stay with me until the very end, because I am not just going to offer theories. I will provide you with some incredibly simple, yet profoundly powerful strategies that will directly guide you toward becoming a truly fluent English speaker. I want this podcast to feel just like a warm, relaxed conversation between trusted friends. Imagine this. We're sitting together in a charming, cozy cafe, perhaps the Daily Grind right here in downtown, with the comforting aroma of freshly brewed coffee filling the air. We each have a warm cup in hand, maybe a classic Americano or a soothing herbal tea, and we're just chatting openly about how to genuinely improve your English. There's no stress, no pressure, just easy, friendly, and truly enjoyable learning. And here's one of the most liberating truths about fluency. It's not about being perfect. Many learners mistakenly believe they must know every single grammar rule, every difficult, obscure word, or achieve absolutely perfect, unblemished pronunciation to be considered fluent. But let me tell you, from my own experience, and from watching countless successful learners, that is simply not true. In reality, fluency is a wonderful blend of confidence and consistent, active practice. It's about speaking without that nagging fear of mistakes, understanding others effortlessly, and building real, meaningful connections through the sheer power of language. Consider the incredible doors that suddenly swing open for you when you achieve fluency in English. You can effortlessly make new friends from diverse cultures, travel the world with true ease and independence, unlock amazing job opportunities in global companies, and even fully enjoy your favorite movies, TV shows, and books in their original English version, without relying on translations. English fluency isn't merely a skill, it's a profound sense of freedom and expanded possibility in your life. So, in today's episode, I, Alex, will take you on a clear, step-by-step journey. I will share 5 powerful, actionable strategies that will help you dramatically improve your fluency in the most natural and straightforward way possible. You don't necessarily need an expensive live-in teacher. You don't need to live in an English-speaking country right now. And you certainly don't need to study for 10 grueling hours a day. All you truly need is the right mindset and the right kind of consistent practice. And I promise, I will show you exactly how to cultivate that. Are you ready? Wonderful. Let's get started on your exciting path to English fluency. Now that we're all fired up and ready to begin, let's first establish a crystal clear understanding of what fluency actually means. This is crucial because many English learners carry misconceptions. They often think fluency implies speaking incredibly fast, using very complex words, or having an absolutely flawless native-like accent, like someone straight out of a Hollywood movie. But let me assure you, this perception is simply not true. Fluency is not about speed, and it is most certainly not about perfection. It is about being able to communicate comfortably, naturally, and with minimal hesitation. It means you can clearly express your ideas, participate in conversations, and maintain a smooth flow without constantly stopping to search for words or overthink every grammar rule. Let me ask you a simple, relatable question. When you speak in your native language, do you speak at lightning speed all the time? Do you always use incredibly difficult, obscure words? Do you never, ever make mistakes? Of course not. Think about your friends, your family, even the news anchors you hear. Even native speakers pause, correct themselves occasionally, and sometimes forget a word or stumble over a sentence. But what do? They keep going. And that continuous, natural flow, that ability to keep the conversation moving forward, is the very essence of fluency. So, let's discard some common myths about fluency right now and focus on what genuinely matters for your progress. Hey, just a quick moment to say, thank you for watching and being part of this journey with us. It really means a lot. If you're enjoying the video so far, and especially if you run into any problems or have questions, don't hesitate to drop a comment below. We're here to help, and we love hearing from you. Your feedback makes our content better, truly. Many learners become overly concerned, almost obsessed, with accuracy. Accuracy refers to using grammatically correct sentences, having perfect pronunciation, and choosing precisely the right words every single time. Of course, accuracy is undeniably important in language learning. However, it's absolutely crucial to understand that fluency and accuracy are distinct concepts, and one doesn't always have to wait for the other. Let me illustrate this with a quick real-world comparison. Imagine two learners. Learner A. Let's call her Sarah. Sarah speaks very slowly, but with impeccable grammar. She meticulously thinks about every word before she utters it, ensuring perfect correctness. However, because she stops so frequently, her conversations feel awkward and disjointed. She struggles to have a natural back and forth because of her constant internal corrections. Learner B, let's call him Mike. Mike speaks naturally and confidently. He might make a few minor grammar mistakes here and there, perhaps a misplaced article or a slightly off verb tense, but he can easily engage in a full, flowing conversation without significant hesitation. He expresses his ideas clearly, and people understand him effortlessly. Which learner do you think is more fluent? Learner B, Mike, without a doubt. While we should always strive to speak correctly and improve our accuracy over time, fluency takes precedence over absolute perfection, especially in the early and intermediate stages. You don't need to be perfect to communicate effectively. You need to be understood, and you need to express yourself confidently. So, my most vital advice is this. Don't wait until your English is perfect to start speaking. Speak now. Practice now. Fluency will naturally follow as you gain confidence and experience. Let's dissect and debunk some pervasive myths that often act as major roadblocks, preventing learners from achieving true fluency. Myth number 1, I need an enormous vocabulary to be fluent. Truth. This is a common misconception. You don't need an encyclopedic vocabulary of 20,000 words. Native speakers primarily use a core set of common, high-frequency words and phrases in their daily conversations. Instead of trying to learn every obscure word in the dictionary, focus your energy on mastering the most useful phrases and the most common, everyday vocabulary. This practical approach will get you communicating effectively much faster. Myth number 2. I must have a perfect, native-like accent to be fluent. Truth. Absolutely not. Fluency is not about sounding exactly like someone from New York City or London. Many fluent English speakers all around the world have distinct accents, and that's perfectly fine, even beautiful. The critical thing, the only thing that truly matters, is that you are clearly understood. Focus on clear articulation and conveying your message effectively. Your unique accent is part of who you are. Embrace it. Myth number 3. I have to live in an English-speaking country to be fluent. Truth. While living abroad can certainly accelerate your learning, it is no longer a strict requirement for fluency. Thanks to the incredible power of the Internet, you can create your own immersive English environment right from your own home. You can listen to authentic English content, practice speaking with partners online, and even connect with English-speaking friends globally. Consistency in your practice is the absolute key, not your geographical location. Myth number 4. Fluency means speaking incredibly fast. Truth. This is a huge misunderstanding. Fluency simply means speaking naturally, not necessarily at a rapid pace. Some native speakers naturally speak quite quickly, while others speak at a slower, more deliberate and thoughtful pace. What truly matters is clear, confident, and uninterrupted communication. Don't rush. Focus on clarity and natural rhythm. Myth number 5. I am too old to become fluent in English. Truth. This is a limiting belief that you need to discard immediately. It is absolutely, unequivocally, never too late to learn a language. Millions of people have achieved impressive fluency in a second language in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and even beyond. The power lies not in your age, but in your consistent practice and your unwavering motivation. Your brain is capable of learning throughout your life. Now that we've courageously dispelled the myths, let's paint a clear, realistic, and inspiring picture of what a truly fluent English speaker embodies. A fluent English speaker understands spoken English easily and naturally, without needing to constantly translate every word in their head. They can respond naturally and spontaneously in conversations, keeping the flow going. They don't constantly stop to overthink every single grammar rule before speaking. They can explain their ideas clearly and coherently, making themselves understood. They feel confident and at ease when speaking English, even if they know they might occasionally make a minor mistake. Notice, I deliberately didn't say a fluent speaker never makes mistakes. Making mistakes is an inherent and utterly essential part of the learning process. The fundamental difference is this: fluent speakers don't let mistakes paralyze them or stop them from speaking. They simply keep going, learning as they go. If you want a personal, honest gauge of your current fluency, ask yourself these straightforward questions. Can I understand most English conversations without mentally translating them word for word in my head? Can I respond naturally and relatively quickly to questions without excessive hesitation? Can I express my ideas, feelings, and opinions clearly in English? Can I comfortably maintain a conversation for 5 to 10 minutes, or even longer, without constant awkward pauses or losing my train of thought? Do I feel generally comfortable and confident speaking English, even if I know I might make some small errors? If you answered yes to some or even most of these questions, congratulations! You are already well on your way to fluency, and you should be incredibly proud of your progress. If you answered not yet to some, please don't worry at all. Fluency takes time and deliberate practice, and in the next part of this podcast, I, Alex, will show you precisely how to accelerate your improvement. So now you have a clear, realistic, and empowering understanding of what fluency truly means. It's not about being perfect. It's not about speaking at lightning speed. It's about speaking comfortably, naturally, and with genuine confidence. In the next segment of this podcast, I will unveil 5 powerful, actionable steps that will help you become fluent much faster. These are simple, practical tips that you can start implementing today. So stay with me. We are just getting started. Your exciting journey to English fluency begins right now. Now that we have a rock-solid understanding of what fluency truly entails, it's time to tackle the most important part, the how. Many English learners feel a bit lost or overwhelmed because they're unsure what to focus on or which specific steps to take. But don't worry, because in this crucial part of the podcast, I, Alex, will share 5 essential, actionable steps that will help you become fluent more quickly and effectively. These are straightforward, practical strategies that you can begin applying today. If you commit to following them consistently, you will undoubtedly see significant improvements in your speaking, listening, and overall confidence in English. Are you ready for your action plan? Let's dive in. Step 1. Immerse yourself. Listen actively and master shadowing. One of the biggest, yet most common mistakes English learners make is not prioritizing listening enough. Many people rush to speak first, but without well-developed listening skills, your speaking will always feel like an uphill battle. Think about how a baby learns their first language. Do they start speaking immediately? Of course not. First, they listen to their parents, their family, and their surroundings for months, even years. They hear the sounds, the words, the sentences, and the natural rhythms over and over before they ever attempt to form their own words. You need to adopt a similar, patient, and immersive approach. The more you listen to authentic English, the easier it becomes to speak naturally yourself. Your brain will gradually attune itself to English sounds, natural rhythms, common sentence patterns, and everyday expressions. What specific content should you listen to for maximum impact? English podcasts, just like this one on English and Fluency. Choose topics that genuinely interest you, whether it's true crime, history, comedy, or self-help. There's an English podcast for everything. Start with those made for learners, and then gradually move to podcasts for native speakers. Audiobooks. Begin with simpler ones, perhaps young adult novels or even children's stories. You can often find free audiobooks online or through your local library's digital services. Movies and TV shows. Start by watching with English subtitles. This helps you connect the sound to the written word. As you progress, challenge yourself to watch without any subtitles at all. YouTube videos. Explore English learning channels, vlogs about daily life, or videos about your hobbies. There's endless content to choose from. Real conversations. Pay close attention to how native speakers interact in everyday situations. Listen to interviews, talk shows, or even just people chatting in a coffee shop. How to make listening truly effective. Listen every single day. Consistency is paramount. Even if it's just 10 to 15 minutes during your commute, while doing chores, or during a coffee break. Don't translate mentally. Actively resist the urge to translate every word into your native language. Try to understand the general meaning from the context, even if you miss a few words. This trains your brain to think directly in English. Repeat listening. Listen to the same piece of content multiple times. You'll catch new nuances, words, and phrases each time. Master the shadowing technique. This is incredibly powerful. Listen to a sentence or short phrase and then immediately repeat it aloud, trying to mimic the speaker's pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation as closely as possible. It's like being an echo. This actively engages your mouth muscles and your ear at the same time. If you consistently immerse yourself in English through daily listening, your brain will start to naturally recognize words and phrases, making your own speaking efforts much easier and more natural. Step 2. Actively speak every day, even if you're completely alone. The second, and equally crucial, key to unlocking fluency is actively speaking English every single day. Many learners fall into the common trap of thinking, I'll start speaking when my English is better, when I know more words, when my grammar is perfect. But this is fundamentally counterproductive. You absolutely must start speaking from the very beginning of your learning journey. But what if I don't have a speaking partner? What if I live alone? No problem at all. You can, and should, still practice speaking even if you're by yourself. Here are some incredibly effective ways to practice speaking alone. Self-talk. This is a goldmine for practice. Talk to yourself in English about your day, your plans, your thoughts, or your feelings. Describe what you're doing right now. For example, I'm making breakfast. I need to crack these eggs. It looks like it's going to be a sunny day. Narrate your life in English. Describe your surroundings. Look around your room or your office and say what you see in English. I see a red chair. The window is open. There's a blue book on the table. This simple exercise forces you to activate vocabulary. Read aloud. Pick any English text, a book, a news article, or even the subtitles from a TV show, and read the words out loud. This helps significantly with pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation. Shadowing. This technique isn't just for listening. It's amazing for speaking practice, too. Listen to a native speaker and immediately repeat what they say, mimicking their exact sounds and rhythm. Record yourself. This can feel a bit awkward at first, but it's incredibly powerful. Pick a simple topic and speak about it for 1 or 2 minutes. Record yourself on your phone, then listen back. You'll be able to identify areas where you can improve your pronunciation, flow, or word choice. It's like being your own personal coach. If you have a speaking partner, that's even better. Leverage these opportunities. Join English conversation groups. Look for online communities or local meetups in your area. Many libraries or community centers offer free conversation groups. Find a language exchange partner. Use apps or websites specifically designed for language exchange, where you can teach someone your native language in exchange for English practice. Speak with the tutor. Websites like Italki or Preply connect you with affordable professional tutors for personalized one-on-one speaking practice. Even short regular sessions can make a huge difference. The more you speak, the more comfortable and confident you will become. Don't let the fear of mistakes hold you back. They are part of the learning journey. Just keep speaking. Step 3. Build with phrases, not just individual words. Many learners spend countless hours trying to memorize long, isolated lists of individual vocabulary words. They might have notebooks filled with hundreds of words, but when it comes time to speak, they struggle to put those words together naturally. This is not the most effective way to become fluent. Instead, you, the listener of English in Fluency, should strategically focus on learning phrases and common expressions that native speakers actually use in everyday conversation. For example, imagine you learn the word agree. That's good. But how do native speakers use agree in a sentence? They say things like, "I totally agree with you," or "That's a good point," or "I see what you mean." By learning and using these full phrases or chunks of language, you will speak much more naturally and fluently because you won't have to pause and try to construct sentences word by word, painstakingly thinking about every grammar rule. The phrase just rolls off your tongue. Where to find and master useful phrases. Active listening. When you listen to podcasts, watch TV shows, or hear native speakers, actively note down common expressions and phrases they use. Keep a dedicated phrase notebook. Use phrasebooks or apps. Many language learning resources are dedicated to common English phrases. Apps like Anki can be great for flashcards with full phrases. Repeat and use. The key is not just to learn them, but to use them. Repeat these phrases aloud. Try writing sentences with them, and actively look for opportunities to incorporate them into your speaking practice and real conversations. Focus on phrases for common daily conversation situations. Greetings and farewells. Hey, how's it going? What's up? Catch you later. Asking for help. Could you give me a hand with this? Would you mind helping me? Giving opinions. In my opinion, zrenia. I think that. Zrenia. Agreeing or disagreeing. I totally agree. Zrenia. Tuvaya validno tazi. Zrenia. I'm not so sure about that. Small talk. How was your weekend? Anything new? Fluent speakers don't build sentences word by word. They recall and use these common phrases naturally. Start collecting useful phrases and actively practice them until they become second nature. Step 4. Think in English. Break free from mental translation. One of the biggest habits that significantly slows down many English learners is translating from their native language to English in their head before they speak. This mental middleman process makes communication incredibly slow, disjointed, and often leads to awkward phrasing. To truly become fluent, you need to train your brain to think directly in English. Why is mental translation a problem? English has different structures. English often has different sentence structures than your native language, so a direct word-for-word translation might not make sense or sound natural. For instance, the way questions are formed or idiomatic expressions can differ greatly. It wastes precious time. By the time you painstakingly translate and construct a perfect sentence in your head, the conversation has moved on, and you miss your opportunity to contribute. It causes hesitation and confidence loss. The intense mental effort required for constant translation makes you pause frequently, which breaks the flow of conversation and chips away at your confidence. How to effectively train your brain to think in English. Start with simple nouns. Look at any object around you, your coffee cup, your phone, a tree outside your window, and simply say its English name in your head, or quietly aloud. Do not think of the word in your native language first. Just see the object. Think the English word. Narrate your day in English. When you wake up, think, "It's a sunny day. I need to make some coffee. What should I wear today?" As you go about your chores, describe them to yourself. "I am washing the dishes. The water is warm. I need to buy more soap." Change your digital environment. Set your phone, computer, and your favorite apps to English. This constantly surrounds you with the language in a low-pressure way. Use an English dictionary. When you encounter a new word, try to understand its meaning from the English definition and example sentences, rather than immediately going for a translation dictionary. This forces your brain to process English within English. Practice writing in English. Keep a daily journal. Write short notes to yourself, or even make your grocery list in English. Writing forces you to organize your thoughts directly in English. Thinking in English helps you speak faster, more naturally, and with greater confidence because you're bypassing that cumbersome translation step. It might feel difficult and unnatural at first, but with consistent practice, your brain will gradually start thinking directly in English automatically. This is a massive leap towards true fluency. Step 5. Embrace consistency and genuinely enjoy the process. The final step, my friends, is arguably the most important of all. Be consistent and genuinely enjoy the entire process. Many learners start strong with incredible enthusiasm, but unfortunately, they give up too soon when they don't see instant results. Fluency takes time, dedicated effort, and patience. So, the absolute key is to practice every single day, even if it's just for 15 to 30 focused minutes. How to build and maintain consistency. Integrate English into your daily routine. Make English learning a non-negotiable part of your day, just like brushing your teeth or having breakfast. Listen to a podcast during your commute. Read an English article during your lunch break. Or practice speaking for 10 minutes right before bed. When it becomes a habit, you won't even think about skipping it. Use English in real-life situations. Actively look for opportunities to use English. Order food at a restaurant in English. Write emails to international contacts in English. Talk to people online in English. Or comment on English social media posts. The more you use it in authentic contexts, the more natural it becomes. Challenge yourself. Set small, achievable goals that push you slightly. For example, this week I will have a 5-minute conversation with a native speaker. Or, I will watch one YouTube video in English every day this month. Celebrate these small victories. Reward yourself. When you achieve a small consistency goal, give yourself a small, positive reward. It could be enjoying your favorite snack, watching an episode of your favorite show, or simply a pat on the back and telling yourself, "Well done!" Rewards help reinforce the positive habit. Most importantly, and I cannot emphasize this enough, enjoy the journey. Don't view English learning as a tedious academic chore. See it as an exciting tool to connect with fascinating people, learn new things, explore diverse cultures, and unlock incredible new experiences. When you find joy in the learning process, you will learn faster, stay motivated, and never want to stop. Final words from Alex. Your journey to fluency starts now. So, those are the 5 absolutely essential steps to becoming truly fluent in English. Immerse yourself through consistent listening and practice shadowing. Actively speak every day, even if you're alone. Build your language with useful phrases, not just isolated words. Train your mind to think in English, break free from mental translation. Embrace consistency and genuinely enjoy the entire process. Fluency is not a far-off dream. It is absolutely 100% possible for everyone, including you. But the ultimate secret lies in taking consistent action. So please, don't wait for the perfect moment, because it may never arrive. Start today. Take one small, consistent step toward fluency. Keep practicing, stay confident, and remember that you are absolutely on the right path. Many English learners put in a tremendous amount of effort. They study hard, they practice daily, but they still find themselves struggling to speak fluently. They hit a plateau, they feel stuck, and they wonder, why isn't my English improving faster? A significant reason for this is a set of very common mistakes that unknowingly slow down their progress. Many learners make these same errors without even realizing their impact, hindering their ability to achieve fluency quickly. But don't worry. In this crucial section, I, Alex, from English in Fluency, am going to talk about the most common pitfalls English learners encounter and, more importantly, how to effectively identify and fix them. If you understand these mistakes and actively work to avoid them, your English will improve dramatically faster. I promise you. Let's begin. Mistake number 1. Over-focusing on grammar rules. Instead of communication, this is perhaps the most prevalent mistake. Many learners believe they must master every single grammar rule, every tense, every conditional, every preposition, before they can confidently speak. They worry excessively about making mistakes, leading them to spend all their time poring over grammar books and doing endless exercises. Why this is a problem? It paralyzes your speaking. You become so focused on perfection that you hesitate, overthink, and struggle to form sentences in real-time conversations. This kills your spontaneity. Native speakers don't do this. Think about a native speaker like, say, Emily from Boston. When Emily speaks, she doesn't consciously recall grammar rules. She uses sentences naturally, based on what sounds right. Her focus is on conveying her message, not on a grammar test. It causes anxiety. The constant pressure to be grammatically perfect creates immense nervousness and makes you less willing to speak at all. How to fix it? Prioritize communication over perfection. Your primary goal in speaking should be to convey your message clearly and be understood. It is absolutely okay to make small grammar mistakes, especially when you're focusing on developing fluency. Learn grammar through immersion and usage. Instead of just dry grammar books, pay close attention to how grammar is used in natural conversations, podcasts, and TV shows. Actively listen for patterns. Practice common sentence patterns. Internalize frequently used sentence structures so they become automatic. For example, instead of studying theoretical grammar rules for the past tense in isolation, repeatedly listen to and mimic sentences like, "Yesterday, I went to the park," or "Last week, she visited her grandmother." Over time, your brain will naturally absorb the grammar through repeated exposure and use, just like a child learns their first language. Mistake number 2. Constantly translating in your head. A very common habit for non-native speakers is to think in their native language first, then mentally translate every single word and phrase into English before they speak. This mental middleman process makes communication incredibly slow, disjointed, and often leads to awkward phrasing. Why this is a problem? English has different structures. English often has different sentence structures than your native language, so a direct word-for-word translation might not make sense or sound natural. For instance, the way questions are formed or idiomatic expressions can differ greatly. It wastes precious time. By the time you painstakingly translate and construct a perfect sentence in your head, the conversation has moved on, and you miss your opportunity to contribute. It causes hesitation and reduces confidence. The intense mental effort required for constant translation makes you pause frequently, which breaks the flow of conversation and chips away at your confidence. How to fix it? Actively train your brain to think in English as much as possible. Start with simple thoughts. When you look at an object, say a car, just think car in English, not its equivalent in your native language. Describe your daily activities to yourself in English. For example, David from California practiced this by thinking, "It's a nice day. I need to get some groceries. What should I cook for dinner?" Use an English dictionary. When you encounter a new word, try to understand its meaning from the English definition and example sentences, rather than immediately going for a translation dictionary. This forces your brain to process English within English. Practice speaking spontaneously. Don't try to prepare every sentence perfectly. Just allow yourself to speak what comes naturally, even if it's imperfect. It will feel challenging at first, but with consistent practice, your brain will gradually start thinking directly in English automatically. Mistake number 3. Learning too many words, but not using them. Some learners diligently try to memorize long, isolated lists of individual vocabulary words. They might have notebooks filled with hundreds of words, use flashcards, and study them religiously. But when it comes time to speak, they can't recall or use these words effectively in conversation. They might know the word, but they can't actively use the word. Why this is a problem? Passive knowledge is not active knowledge. Learning words in isolation without actively using them means they remain in your passive vocabulary, where they are difficult to retrieve quickly during a conversation. Fluency comes from active usage. True speaking fluency comes from comfortably using a smaller but highly effective set of common words and phrases correctly, not from knowing a vast number of difficult or rare words that you never activate. How to fix it? Learn words in context. Always study new words as part of meaningful phrases or full sentences, not as isolated entries on a list. For example, instead of just happy, learn I'm feeling happy today, or she looks very happy. Use new words immediately. As soon as you learn a new word or phrase, make a conscious effort to write sentences with it, say it aloud in your self-talk, and actively try to incorporate it into your next conversation or practice session. Imagine Jessica from Texas. When she learns a new phrase like hang in there, she immediately tries to use it when talking to a friend or even practices it in front of the mirror, making it part of her active vocabulary. Focus on high-frequency, useful words and phrases. Prioritize words and expressions that are commonly used in daily conversations. For instance, instead of immediately tackling very complex words like meticulous, focus on mastering common phrases like be careful with this take your time, or pay attention. The more you actively use words, the easier they become a natural part of your speaking. Mistake number 4. Being afraid of making mistakes. This is a massive psychological barrier for many learners. They are paralyzed by the fear of making mistakes. They worry that people will laugh at them, judge their intelligence, or think they're not good enough. This intense fear often prevents them from speaking at all. Why this is a problem? If you don't speak, you won't improve. Speaking is a practical skill, and like riding a bicycle or playing a musical instrument, it can only be mastered through consistent, active practice. You learn by doing, and by doing imperfectly at first. Everyone makes mistakes. Even native speakers like Brian from New York sometimes make grammatical errors or use the wrong word in conversation. Mistakes are an inherent, vital, and absolutely necessary part of the learning process for everyone. Mistakes are lessons in disguise. Every single error you make is an invaluable opportunity to learn, to refine your understanding, and to improve your English. How to fix it? Change your mindset. View mistakes as undeniable signs of progress, not failures. Embrace them. They mean you're trying and actively learning. Speak as much as possible. Period. Don't let the fear of errors hold you back. Focus entirely on clear communication. Your primary goal is to express your ideas, not to deliver a 100% grammatically perfect performance. Learn from corrections. If someone kindly corrects you, thank them sincerely. It's a gift that helps you grow. Don't feel ashamed, feel grateful. Remember native speakers' habits. Even native speakers occasionally stumble, use incorrect grammar, or struggle to find the right word. But they don't stop talking. They simply rephrase or correct themselves and move on. You should adopt the same resilient attitude. Mistake number 5. Not practicing listening enough. Many learners focus heavily on reading and writing English, which are important skills, but they often neglect active listening. They don't listen to spoken English frequently or effectively enough. Why this is a problem? Understanding spoken English. If you don't listen regularly, you won't develop the critical ability to comprehend natural, fast-paced spoken English in real-time conversations. This makes understanding native speakers a constant struggle. Natural pronunciation and rhythm. Listening helps you internalize the natural sounds, stress patterns, intonation, and rhythm of English, making your own speaking sound much more natural and understandable. Speaking becomes harder. Without sufficient listening input, it's incredibly difficult to produce natural-sounding English yourself because you haven't absorbed enough examples of how it's supposed to sound. How to fix it? Listen every day, consistently. Commit to daily listening, even if it's just 10 to 15 minutes. Choose engaging content. Listen to things you genuinely find interesting, whether it's podcasts, audiobooks, YouTube channels, or TV shows. The more you enjoy it, the more you'll do it. Listen actively. Don't just have English as background noise. Try to focus, repeat what you hear, and make a conscious effort to understand new words and phrases from context, gradually weaning yourself off subtitles. Vary your content. Listen to different accents, different speeds, and different topics to broaden your comprehension. Exposure to variety is key. Mistake number 6. Not speaking enough. This is arguably the biggest and most direct mistake preventing fluency. Some learners study English for years, collecting grammar rules and vocabulary, but they rarely, if ever, practice speaking. They tell themselves, "I will speak when my English is better," creating a never-ending cycle of procrastination. Why this is a problem? Speaking is a distinct skill that requires practice. Like riding a bike or playing an instrument, speaking can only be mastered through consistent, active output. You can't learn to swim by reading a book about it. Confidence comes from speaking. You don't need perfect English to speak. You need confidence, and that confidence is built only by actually speaking. The more you do it, the easier it gets. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to start. Procrastinating on speaking makes the initial hurdle of opening your mouth even higher and scarier. How to fix it? Start speaking today, right now, even if it's just a few sentences to yourself. The important thing is to start producing output. Talk to yourself in English. Narrate your day. Practice responses to hypothetical questions. Describe what you see around you. Find a speaking partner. Actively seek out a friend, a language exchange partner, a tutor, or join an online or local conversation group. Make it a regular appointment. Don't wait for perfection. Your goal is active communication, not a flawless performance. The best way to get better at speaking is by speaking. Now you are aware of the most common mistakes English learners make. Over-focusing on grammar, translating in your head, learning words without using them, fearing mistakes, insufficient listening, and not speaking enough. If you consciously identify and work to fix these habits, your English will improve dramatically faster. You will feel more confident, speak more naturally, and truly enjoy your English learning journey. Remember, fluency is not about being perfect. It's about confident, effective communication. Keep practicing, make these shifts, and very soon you will be speaking English with ease. You have now learned many useful techniques to become truly fluent in English. You understand the key steps, the common mistakes to avoid, and precisely how to fix them. But before we finish today's powerful episode, I, Alex, want to give you some final encouraging tips and a little burst of motivation to help you stay firmly on track. Learning a language is like embarking on an incredible journey. Sometimes it feels exciting and fast-paced, like cruising down a clear highway. Other times, it can feel slow and challenging, like climbing a steep hill. But please remember this: if you consistently keep moving forward, even one small step at a time, you will reach fluency. Final, powerful tips from Alex for your fluency. Success. Be unwaveringly consistent. Learning English is not about cramming for 5 intense hours in one day and then doing nothing for a week. That approach leads to burnout and forgotten information. Small, daily practice is infinitely better than long, infrequent study sessions. Try to speak, listen, read, or write in English every single day, even if it's just 10 to 15 focused minutes. Set a clear routine. For example, Kevin from Chicago listens to an English podcast every morning during his walk, and Lisa from Florida practices speaking to herself for 10 minutes every night before bed. The more you integrate English into your daily life, the faster you will naturally improve. Surround yourself with English. Make English an integral and enjoyable part of your everyday life. The more English you hear, see, and actively speak, the faster your brain will adapt. Change the language on your phone, social media apps, and computer to English. Watch English movies, TV shows, and YouTube videos that genuinely interest you. Listen to English music, podcasts, and audiobooks. Actively try to think in English when you're alone. If you make English a natural, unavoidable part of your day, your brain will pick it up organically. Find a speaking partner. Speaking is the most important dynamic skill for fluency, but many learners don't have consistent opportunities to practice with others. Make it a priority to find a speaking partner and commit to practicing regularly. You can join English conversation groups online or in your local community. Use language exchange apps like HelloTalk or Tandem to connect with native speakers from around the world. Or, as we discussed, practice talking to yourself if you don't have a partner available. Remember, the more you speak, the more confident and capable you become. Don't be afraid of mistakes. This is a critical mindset shift. Mistakes are not failures. They are a natural, indispensable part of learning. Every mistake you make is a valuable lesson, a guidepost showing you where to improve. Instead of feeling embarrassed or defeated, learn from them. If someone gently corrects you, thank them sincerely. It's a gift that helps you grow. Laugh at your mistakes, learn from them, and keep going. Focus on successfully communicating your message rather than achieving perfect, error-free speech. Remember, even native speakers like John or Sarah sometimes misspeak, but they don't stop talking. You should adopt the same resilient attitude. Genuinely enjoy the process. Learning English should be an enjoyable, exciting adventure. If you find joy in it, you will learn faster, stay motivated for longer, and avoid burnout. Learn with content that deeply interests you. Watch your favorite movies, listen to thrilling podcasts, or read captivating books. Find fun, engaging ways to practice, like playing English word games, singing along to English songs, or writing short creative stories. Celebrate every small success, every new word or phrase you learn, every conversation you have. Every little step forward is progress. If you make learning enjoyable, you will never want to stop, and fluency will simply unfold. Motivation from Alex. You absolutely can do this. I know that learning English can sometimes feel difficult. You may experience moments of frustration or thoughts like, "I will never be fluent," might creep into your mind. But please, remember this powerful truth. Every single fluent speaker you admire was once a beginner. Think about a child learning their first language. They don't worry about mistakes. They just listen, copy, experiment, and speak. Over time, through consistent interaction and exposure, they become fluent. You, with your adult brain and dedication, can absolutely do the same with English. Believe in yourself. Trust the process. Keep going, even when progress feels incredibly slow or imperceptible. One day, you will look back, perhaps months or a year from now, and realize with immense pride, "I did it. I am fluent." Fluency is not a distant, unattainable dream. It is possible, it is within your reach, and you are already firmly on the right path. Thank you so much for listening to today's podcast on how to become fluent in English. I, Alex, truly hope you found these tips, steps, and motivational insights incredibly helpful as you continue your vital English learning journey. Remember, fluency doesn't happen overnight, but with consistent practice, unwavering patience, and genuine dedication, you will absolutely get there. Keep using the powerful strategies we discussed today, and always stay positive and motivated. If you enjoyed this podcast and found it valuable, please take a moment to subscribe to the English in Fluency channel so you don't miss any future episodes. If you have any questions or thoughts, feel free to leave a comment or share your experiences. I'd genuinely love to hear from you and connect. And lastly, my dear learners, please don't forget to keep practicing every single day. You are on the right path, and I believe in you wholeheartedly. Keep speaking, keep listening, and most importantly, keep believing in yourself. Thank you again for joining me today. Until next time, happy learning, and take immense care.